Alright guys, so we're in Wallace, and one of the big reasons why I wanted to come to Wallace is that building right there, the Jamison. That is the Jamison Hotel. So much, I mean there's a lot of history in this entire town, but the Jamison, we've come here before and went through the Jamison. We were in there for probably over 2 hours when we came before, and it's so active in there. Like you just feel like there's some stuff's happening. Yeah, Nate was touched a few times. Tiffany and I got really sick. There's a hallway, I think it's on the 2nd floor, maybe it's on the 3rd floor, where the rooms are, and you go down the hallway and there's a little bathroom because this hotel, it has they have the rooms, and then the bathroom is like a communal bathroom and baths and whatnot, meaning you just share it with everybody else. So you can go in there, lock the doors, whatever, and take bath, shower, whatever. So we went down. There's a few bathrooms. One of them is right next to the, was it the inn master, the hotel master, the original master of the hotel. It's down by his room, and Tiffany and I got so sick, got dizzy, just really all sorts of bad feelings down there. And we were in there with Josh and also with Nate. Neither of them felt anything. It didn't feel different to them. Come to find out, the original owner of this hotel that we were in the bathroom by his room, he hated women. So chances are Tiffany and I were feeling that because likely he's still there. His spirit is in there. We came back here this trip because I wanted to go in and investigate some more and get some footage for the vlog and just show you guys because it's super cool. Oh, you're fine. It was super cool. Unfortunately though, they're closed right now. I don't know if it's for changing ownership because it's a haunted hotel. They've had trouble keeping ownership, or if it's just, you know, because of COVID. We might be up in this area again later in the week, and if it's open, we definitely will be going in there. Also, last time we were here, we did the train museum. It was super cool, so much fun. We were going to do that Bordello museum over there, but they're closed. We're gonna probably come back later this week for it. So yeah, still a nice day in Wallace. Okay, so last time we were here, I probably should not walk across the grass. Maybe I'm okay.
There was a dog turtle around.
We came here last time to this railroad museum, and one of the cool things is this gravestone out here actually has bullet holes in it. You see them right there, and I think there's a few of them in there.
They hated him.
Yeah, so we learned about him, and I don't remember a whole lot, but I do remember there were bullet holes in that thing. So, and this place, if you come to Wallace, which you should, everybody should come to Wallace at least once in their life and come and do this railroad tour. And also Tiffany says that Bordello museum is really great. Hopefully we will be back later this week, and hopefully they will be open, and hopefully they will be open, but maybe not. I don't know. We want to go back to the Jamison. Tiffany and I do. I was telling them about the experience we had by the inn master's room.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hauntings exist.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Men hate women sometimes and haunt.
Yeah.
When they haunt hotels and you go to an area where the innkeeper hated women, you get very negative vibes.
Oh yeah.
Very
We got
negative.
so sick.
It was just the two of us. Just
Yeah.
2 females, that's why. So
I was telling them.
A lot of history here.
Yeah, I was like, Nate and Josh did not
feel anything.
Nate got touched though. He felt,
female.
he said that it felt like a hair brushing on his arm. So
Her name is Maggie. She lived in the Jamison Hotel, and she went to catch up with her lover across seas and never made it. So, because Jamison was her home for an extended period of time, because she'd always visit, room 3 of the Jamison Hotel, her name is Maggie. She haunts it, as well as a little girl that we don't know who it is yet.
I want to
There's
say.
a ball they set up, and the little girl likes to move the ball. Sometimes, as we witnessed last time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Tiffany took a picture of the ball, and then we went up to the 3rd floor, and we were up there for a while, and we came back down, and Tiffany was like, I think that ball moved. and she tried to recreate the photo, she couldn't do it. So that ball had to have moved. I think room 3 is this one up here on the end, right there. I believe it is room 3. Tiffany said sometimes you can get in there, but when we were here before, could not get in there. It's so creepy in there. I want to go back in there. Hopefully, someday.
And it's off to the mines in historic Wallace. Whew, can't wait to board.
So when you go underground, you get to see what Mother Nature can do that you'll never see above ground. So this wall, this is one of the coolest things in my opinion. It looks like a gooey, sticky, slimy mess of mayonnaise and something to me. But when you touch it, it's a little damp and it feels like satin. It's the craziest thing. And that's the minerals that make stalactites and stalagmites. Except the biggest they ever get are like these. That's as big as they get, ever. Except this wall, the minerals run down it. Mother Nature is the biggest purifying system we have. Our shaft that's full, if you were to take that water and run it through a home filter and you took a drink of it, you would demand that kind of water at your house. Yeah. That is pure stuff. There's no chlorine in it and all the decontaminants and none of that garbage. So let's go down here. These are just static items. We have ones that work. I don't want to waste time on that.
I know, I was seeing that. It's so small.
So as you come into Kellogg from the east or from the west, and right before you cross over the river into Kellogg, you see that big tailings pond. We used to do this on tours intentionally. We would make sure that my tour got killed when my friend fired that up, and we would tell you all kinds of horror stories what that was. People would freak out and exit here at 100 miles an hour, and then we kind of got in trouble. So
That's amazing.
yeah. So when you come across a void, instead of stacking all the remnants outside, we figured out that once we mined it, then we crushed it, then we milled it, then we run it through the classifier, then we did the filtration. All that's left is sand. Why throw it out on the ground? Why don't we put it back in these empty holes? Oh, there's an idea. So we run 8-inch pipes and it's called sand fill. We build the wall, never out of this kind of stuff. It would be 16-inch by 16-inch timbers. We have wedges cut out of fresh wood. We wedge everything as tight as you can, driving them in there with double jacks. Pressurize this, you fill it full of sand, you can't have any cracks. Reason why? We set on 2 faults here in this valley. And so we constantly are dealing with shifting surfaces that create air blasts. They're very dangerous and deadly. Lucky Friday, one of the few hard rock mines in the world that has their own seismograph. And they can predict what's going to happen. Now the Galena, another little mine just 2 miles down the road from Wallace to the south, they have air blasts all the time. And you can be 3 miles away down in the other job I used to have at the mine supply place, and you would definitely go, whoa, that was an air blast. And I mean, you literally feel it and things shake. That's a long way away. That's the kind of pressure you stay away from. So you got to seal this. You can't have cracks, because as this pressurizes, if there's a crack, the sand that's under pressure will now start squeezing out like a sand blaster.
So you can't have cracks right here.
Oh yeah, that would never, ever do. It's got to be tight.
Yeah.
The Sunshine Mine disaster, May 2nd, 1972. You guys heard of that? How that happened, there was a wall and they were looking for a better sealant. And a chemical company that I won't name because it's still in a lawsuit said, we got this stuff. It's fire retardant and fire resistant, and it wasn't.
Oh.
93 guys underground, 91 of them dead.
Wow.
Wow.
How horrible.
Yeah, so I'll explain and show you what happened there. So we're driving a tunnel. We need to know, because the owner wants to know, what's back here 2,000 feet. Well, you can't feasibly just keep drilling and blasting. So what we designed was this little drill here. It's got a hollow bit, hollow core. This is the bit. Those are industrial diamonds. Go ahead. You feel it.
Oh.
That's probably got 10,000 feet on it. It's held, the diamonds are held in place by carbide. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna drill, and every so often we're gonna pull out a sample of the rock. So we'll mark the footage. Let's say we're at 500 foot. Geologist wants a sample, we pull this out, and our heart sinks because there's a little bit of stuff here, but we're not gonna be eating steak off this sample. We send it in, they go, yeah, keep trying. Don't look back there. This is underground darkness.
That's pretty crazy.
So if your light goes out underground, you sit down immediately because you're never going to find your way to anything safe. It's always
Still trying to
gonna be bad.
record.
Totally.
Showing off
Now-
the darkness.
Real mining, this is what we got. Everywhere you look, you got light. It never fails. I still, to this day, I have a flashlight in my pocket. The deal with this light, this is a LED light. And it's a different kind of light than the old style light, what was just overpoweringly bright.
Yeah.
And you can see the difference in the dark. Most of us that grew up with the heavy battery operated light prefer that because the light is just, in our eyes, it's better. Newer people that don't, they're like, well, I like this one, it's good enough because it's lighter. But when you're in the dark, you want what you can count on. And I always carry extras of everything. So this is a story here in itself. One of the guys working, my little short friend, when this became a classroom, the next stop, they needed to enlarge this tunnel. So they contracted it out to Lenny and his buddy who had been mining together 31 years. The buddy says, I'll do the front half, you do the back half. Fine. You're taught to drill a tunnel so that you can stand up and walk through. This guy was 6'2". Lenny's 5'4". That pretty much tells you. And Lenny, as he goes by, never hitting his head, said, they tell you to make sure you can walk through it, and I can. So there's really no complaint. And that's when you kind of start learning you better be specific about certain things. Yeah, he's a little Norwegian dude. He's funny as all get out. So this is the classroom, exactly like it looks. You came here, went to school, graduated, paper, year, money in the bank. So this little drill that we're operating, small vein mining, this is what makes it happen. This is an S83 drill with a Gardner Denver leg, 94 pounds, 34 pounds. You're gonna run this for 3.5 hours a day. The cool thing is, this throttle runs the drill steel. It goes counterclockwise in slow rotation. This throttle runs the leg, which will take all the weight and push it up there, and you can run this with 2 fingers. And then when your partner gets his, it's called collared. When you get the hole started, you can run both drills here with a thumb and a finger for each one. That's how you're gonna get an 8 by 8 by 8 foot deep round done in 3.5 hours. And everything that we're doing is in one cycle, one shift. We come in, we move what we blasted last night, and we do it all over, and we blast and go home. Every cycle goes like that. So, 30 ton of ore. This is how it's gonna come down. Take the center out. Now we just pulverize it, and the very last, we lift this up and move it away from the back wall because that's very important, because that's the first place we have to work tomorrow when we come to work is the back wall. Everybody blasts. If you're a miner, you're out of the mine on the surface at 220. All the detonations for miners go off. No one's underground. If you are, you'll never go underground again. You do not miss that. That is the most important thing that you will always stick to. Now, so I showed you the explosion. Now I want to show you what the drill's like, because this is just way too cool. The amount of work this thing will do is unbelievable. That thing rocks and rolls. I have, and I'm happy about it. I'm not complaining. My right ear is my drill ear. It's also the ear I always go drag racing, nitromethane, 10,000 horsepower cars. I can't hear and I love it. Because I found out 1 year is better than 2 because you eliminate a lot of the crap you pick up just in conversations that doesn't mean nothing. Now I got 1 year. I'm telling you what, it's like nonsense is over. And now my wife knows it, and she's like, she'll come up and say, did you hear what I said? I said, yeah. Well, why didn't you? I said, because here's how this works. I was in management for years, world's largest car dealership. Wow, that needs some psychology after that. And you start eliminating facts that you don't need. I used to carry all these stock numbers and mechanic numbers and how much did this cost to repair that stock number car, and I just quit doing it. So my wife says, why didn't you remember that? And I say, I cleaned out the space up here. She goes, yeah, I know, you don't know nothing anymore. And I go, yeah, but what's cool is I'm saving all this space for important stuff now. And she'll look at me, and then I get slugged in the shoulder, and she goes, are you telling me what I just told you was not important? I go, you're getting it now. You're getting it. This is the advantage of 1 year. You just eliminate a lot of stored garbage. And that's what I was telling you about. Oh yeah, this is the famous ditch. Usually when the schools get out for the summer and they bring their field trips, as soon as I point out the ditch, it's always little boys accidentally step in it. It's really weird. Yeah. And the girls don't, but the little boys, hey, you stepped in the ditch. I'm like, dude, it's not the ditch. It's just water now. It's not, but they don't care. It's the ditch.
Right.
You go out there with those 10 boys, 8 of them got a muddy shoe. All the girls are looking at them like, you're stupid. Which we are. We're men. That's what we're supposed to do. That's our spot. This timber repair never stops happening. All throughout the mine, 24/7. You need to move these big timbers. This is your friend, little air hoist. You want to move it, hook it to something solid, drag it over there. I mean, they are just unstoppable. So, now we're to the shaft. I find this very interesting. This shaft goes down at an incline of 300 feet. There's the ladder. You would climb that 300 feet down. There's your bucket. You're going to get all your tools and stuff from your buddy before he comes down. Now, this is full of water. After all these years, the most expensive thing you're going to do in mining is sink a shaft. The second most expensive thing you're going to do is pump a shaft out. Because once you pump it out, now you got to replace everything that you expose to the air. Now, a lot of mines put fish in here. And it's cool. The fish generally go blind. But we can't do that here because this is non-oxygenated water. So if we put the fish in, as stupid as this is going to sound, but I say some stupid stuff, the fish would drown. There's no air in the water. Which also means the buoyancy in this water is not the same as a lake. You get in there, you're going to have some issues staying afloat. And that's why sometimes in the old days they would find remains of people in shafts that were known to be drug dealers or bad guys that just got on somebody's wrong side. So if we're going to be underground, we're almost a mile, and I need the hoist to come down, here's how I'm going to get a hold of the hoist guy. And he can't see me, so we got to do it with sound. I'm going to give him a 5-6. All that means is send me the hoist. And when he comes down, now he's a mile away. In his little room, he's watching a gauge that says how many foot of cable he's feeding out. And when his floor comes down, he'll stop, and it's always perfectly matched up with whatever floor. He's the most important guy in the mine. He takes you to work, and he brings you home. He's the only one. So when it's time to go home, this is our area we're going to stack ourselves in. 16 by 16 foot area if you're in a big mine. We got 35 people in here, or whatever we can get, and we're shoulder to shoulder. This is when we go from adult to 8-year-olds again. We start off, we're going to go 1,300 feet in 23 seconds. We are moving. And then all of a sudden you hear ting, 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 and you look and there goes somebody's lighting helmet, hundreds of feet down. There goes another one. Then you hear this, and you look over and somebody's got whipped cream going down the back of their shirt or their pants. It just never stops. So I did this. Because I didn't want to be a victim, I became part of the problem. I would take Kool-Aid with me in a baggie, red and green, always. I would take it to my workspace. When we're done, we're on here. I know what's going on. Everybody else does too. Crap's going to start happening. So I take the Kool-Aid out, they're still dry, I tear the tops off, and as we're moving at light speed, I'm going like this. Because everybody's legs and stuff, you're wet. You've been working, you're soaked. It goes through your pants. You get to the dry, you get naked, you're gonna take a shower and you hear somebody go, whoever keeps turning my legs red and green is gonna die when I figure out who this is. I did this for years, and there would be bulletins on the bulletin board saying, the Kool-Aid Bandit's gonna get it. And they would come to you and go, have you had problems with Kool-Aid? Oh yeah, he's got my, I mean, I lied about it for years. Just yesterday, I honestly owned up to it after all these years. And now I'm starting to think somebody's going to hear about this. And they're going to come and visit me. But I was the Kool-Aid Bandit. And it was cool because if you're just quiet about it and you just go along, they never suspect the person that's getting it done to them too. Once in a while I get Kool-Aided, you know, and it was like, great. Christmas, we double everything so that, man, your leg's going to look like a holiday. Normally you run everything in high gear. Is when something's moving in front of you, eventually you go like this. Usually within 15 minutes, who's ever learning this is on the floor. After that, you never hit the floor again because you stop looking. You know what's going on. This here, supply house. Place you can keep your wits together, drill steel, bits. No explosives is ever stored together with the detonator. Okay?
Kick back and enjoy some of the pictures we took in Wallace, Idaho. Music provided by Royalty Free Music. Link in the description. Wow, that vacation was exhausting. Me and Josh are both passed out. Friday was our last full day in Idaho. We had dinner with my friend Bud and Anna, and Josh left Saturday morning. However, Bud and Anna invited us to some demolition derby, so make sure you check that out next time. It was freaking amazing. Talk about bringing out your inner redneck. Thank you for taking the time to watch my videos. Give me a thumbs up if you like them. Click on that bell to be notified when I release a new episode. Hit that subscribe button. Questions and comments are always welcome. Well, let me know what you think of this series so far. If you have any ideas, let me know. Do you hear that? Adventure is calling.